is time now to be upstanding for the national anthem, to be performed by internationally acclaimed and proudly Australian, the 10 Tenors, kicking off their 30th anniversary world tour in January 2025 and touring nationally here in Australia throughout April, May and June. Head to the10tenors.com for all of their tour dates and tickets.
Of beauty rich and rare, in history's page let every state advance Australia fair, in joyful strength and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the rolling hills of New South Wales. Welcome in here to Stam Studio Network, where I bring you round 2 of the IRPAS GT3 Pro-Am Series. Today we're set for 45 minutes of high-speed chess, around 23 turns, 6.2 kilometers to work with. Before we get started, I appreciate every single one of you joining in here tonight. That's all about to make this happen. You might want to strap in, get yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack. You're not going to want to miss a moment. Bathurst, it's a circuit that offers no forgiveness. You look at these walls wrong, you make one mistake, and well, you'll definitely be towing it down into the pits. We've got the stacked grid here tonight with the Pro-Am Series. Matter of fact, we actually have a few of the top interviews from our Pro-Am Series race just a week ago. Speaking of these drivers, how about it? Jeremy, Oliver, you got yourself a copy.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, drivers, how are you Pro-Am drivers doing tonight here? Oliver, we know that I believe you finished 3rd place in the Pro category just 1 week ago from Spa. How was it, and how does that Spa track compare to the tight, treacherous turns here tonight from Bathurst?
Well, there's a lot of differences. Like I can see I'm starting 10th today. I really had a difficulty with the mountain range turns and all that. I didn't really get all the practice in time for the race. It's been a while since I last been on this track, so I'm just slowly learning the turns and the practice now qualifying. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in qualifying and all that, but what I can say is that yeah, it's really tight and all that. Very easy to make mistakes, especially in the mountain turns and all that.
Well, Oliver, you had a great start to the season. Hopefully we're going to continue to see that tonight. Best of luck here to Unite from the mountain, the treacherous Bathurst.
Yes, thank you.
Alrighty, also within that pro category, we're going to have Alex. Alexander Kjaller, you got yourself a copy winner from just a week ago at Spa.
Yep, I copy.
All right, Alex, are you ready to tackle the mountain here tonight? Matter of fact, it looks like you're going to slap it up there on the pole.
Yep, I'm ready. Feels comfortable around here, so it should be good. And Lucas is right behind, so that's going to be fun as well.
Lucas right behind, also Samuel Cruz right there with you, John Jennings, Andy White, Tim Reed, Jeremy Jukic rounding at that top 7. Alexander, we wish you the best of luck here tonight, and hopefully you're going to be able to keep it clean. I think 1st place is probably the safest place to be starting here tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not sure, but I think we're doing the standing start.
We are. Let's get going green. We are green flag racing already. I'll let you boys get back to it. Drag you back up to the chat. Here we go.
Yep.
Green flag racing from Bathurst. Alrighty, well, after we've seen a whole pace lap before here, we are actually going to get the standing start already. And matter of fact, we're already going to have some two wide heading up and through the hill here at Mount Panorama. Looking at Tim Reed, Jeremy Jukich, Jed Cotterman, starting to look side by side as we single file it back out here through the hill section. Alexander Hjaller, one of those drivers we were just hearing from within that race interview. He has gone out to the race lead, got 8/10 second gap over Lucas Haller. Samuel Cruz continuing to hang right here with them. It is an opening race here for a home race, for a driver of the number 17 McLaren, John Jennings. He's had himself a nice start here tonight as he starts where he started this race. Andy White, Tim Reed continue to pursue. How about Jed Cotterman? He's also gained just one spot since the drop of the green flag as we head back down the hill here at Bathurst. We got Ricardo down here in YouTube land as well as Easy Mars Racing X99 going at it. Figured the anthem would be a bunch of kangaroo noises. No, not here tonight. We will keep things moving and grooving on the anthem and the racetrack. We got Ricardo here also saying, hey guys, big shout out to the booth. Great broadcast, and so far we're looking at a great race. Now we're going to hop on board with Jed Cotterman here as he tries to reel in a Jeremy Jukich for that P7 spot. That would be about, that's second spot in the AM category as Mark Berry looks like just dropped a few spots there. Not sure how we lost two down that back straightaway, possibly just compromising the corner exit there at a Falcon corner, and that is the most important corner of the track as we head up into turn one here. It's a matter of fact called Hell Corner for a reason. It's so hard to over-brake and over-rotate the car here. Looks like all these IRPAS drivers are able to complete lap one pretty well, and clean, cordial starts here. Samuel Cruz for that final driver interview spot. John Jennings, though, breathing on that carbon fiber rear diffuser. Lucas Haller in the Ferrari is a surprise, says X99. Well, we're going to continue to see the pace here from these two Ferraris. The Ferraris on that front row continuing to run 1-2 here. It's only lap 1.5 coming to lap 2, but I don't know. You might want to have the longer run set up here, or at least the longer run car, as Samuel Cruz actually continues to reel in these drivers with that Lamborghini. The only Lamborghini GT3 on the track here tonight as we head back and down through the hill. The fuel strategy here, the fuel runs will be extremely tight. 75% fuel for these GT3 cars. I heard from these drivers it's going to be very tight. At least you might need to save a lot of it, or you're going to definitely have to make that call on when you're going to make that pit road strategy. Definitely make sure your tires are unchecked here tonight as we continue to have battles work down our long back straightaway here from Bathurst. How about it? That was side by side there for a moment for John Jennings, Samuel Cruz. Looks like Samuel Cruz is going to cruise back to P4 for the moment as he's continuing to smell blood in the water here if you're Samuel Cruz. Matter of fact, one of our front runners right now heading into the pits. This is possibly even a pit stop strategy call. I know we're only lap 2-3 into this race, but you get enough fuel here within your GT3 machine for the Ferrari this time. Lucas Haller, he could possibly definitely make this down and work on this pit stop strategy. Here comes Mark Berry. I believe that was Oliver Jansen. We're starting to look side by side across the start-finish line. Going to single file it back out for the overall 11th and 12th spot. Golly. Easy Mart Racing. I wish I had the old Kangaroos ready to go here tonight, but we'll keep the Kangaroos safe here. You know what else we're going to keep safe is Lucas Haller. Well, actually, I don't know. He's already passed Dominic here. He's going to start to reel in Dan Fendick for the overall 13th spot. That was a splash and dash for Lucas Haller. Remember, I believe we saw that a week ago at Spa, where we saw Lucas unfortunately not come away with the top 5 within the pro class, but within the pace that we saw from Lucas, not only in practice, but as well as qualifying. Starting out here on the front row, keep your eye on the number 1 machine. Another driver that we're going to definitely have to keep an eye on here tonight is John Jennings. He's already worked 2 spots gained since the drop of the green flag, passing Samuel Cruz, making it look relatively easy, as well as Andy White. Pro drivers going at it. Going to see John Jennings start to pull this gap away for the P2 spot. Speaking of pull gap away, I mean, Alexander Schaller, we briefly heard from the driver of the 73 within our grid walk here as we had our standing start. It's Alexander. He showed that pace, remember, 1 week ago, coming away with the checkered flag. He's continuing to show it here tonight. Will we see the back-to-back wins here? Samuel Cruz continued to hang with John Jennings, though, here. John Jennings, our only driver tonight that this pretty much is a home series race, you could call this, for the number 17. He sits P2 overall as well as in the pro category. Jeremy Jukic right here showing same camera shots. That number 28 Acura NSX leading the AM category for the moment. He's got that hard charging Jed Cotterman right there behind him, though. If you take a look at the right side of your screen, it looks like a Christmas tree, matter of fact, because you see a little bit of a red, you see a little bit of green. Looks like Jukic slower than Cotterman there, laps 1 and 2, but matter of fact, faster compared last lap by on lap 3. We pretty much have battles all over the racetrack here right now. Here's another really nice battle. I believe this is going to be between AM versus Pro. AM driver Matthew Sherwood going up against Oliver Jensen here. Oliver trying to find, excuse me, that's 2 AMs going at it. That is Mauricio Marquez Ramos as well as Matthew Sherwood, 2 AMs. 2 McLarens, they have some very similar speed here tonight as we'll work our way back and through the downhill section. You can't even call it a downhill, you call it down the mountain here. It's extreme elevation change to work with. You got to be careful on the throttle and brake inputs. Just a little bit too aggressive, it'll send you around, especially between Falcon Corner here. These drivers keeping the tires underneath them. Long way to go, short time to get there. These drivers will do what they say can't be done. Andy White, Tim Reed starting to go at it here for overall P4 as well as Pro P4. Looks like teammates, very similar paint schemes. Oh, that looks like Andy White, who's going to run a little bit wide there. Going to run into the grass. That's going to present side by side here, heading into turn number, I believe, is it 23 turns we have here at Bathurst. Looks like they'll single file it back out once again, but teamwork almost trying to make the dream work here as Andy White and Jeremy Jukic. Well, Jeremy Jukic continues to reel in Tim Reed and Andy White as he continues to lead that AM category. Jed Cotterman, though, once again continuing to reel in Jeremy Jukic. Tyler Reed hanging right there with him for that P3 of the AM class. Let me know if everything is sounding A-OK down there in YouTube land below us. We'll hop on board with Tyler Reed here. Mauricio Ramos, remember, he was in a hard fighting battle there with Matthew Sherwood as he starts to pull away now, looking with that 0.6 of a second gap for that. I believe that's the Rubber Duck Racing. I believe that is driver of the number 36. You see, drivers, look at the different lines here as we head up through the mountain section. It's basically a street course on steroids. Once again, you look at one of these walls wrong and they'll come out and bite you. Definitely got to treat this with a little bit of carefulness there. There was a little bit of puff of smoke at the right side quarter panel. Looks like Mauricio lives to fight another day. I don't know if Oliver Jansen, though, is going to be able to get away with this scotch-free. This was heading back up the mountain. I'm showing Oliver Jansen with a little bit of a slide, possibly a little bit of an incident. Tried to carry a little bit too much speed. Oh, what a send, what a move there, as that was Lucas Haller who was able to get right on by. And then, oh, unfortunately, that Rubber Duck Racing machine gets right on in there. Mach 2, nowhere to go for Mach Berry as well as Dominic Gashlau. We'll hop on board with Mark Berry here as I say nowhere to go. Look at this blind heading up the mountain here, hopping on board. Oh, where do I go, where do I go, where do I go? Nowhere, and then right behind this, Duke for the Rubber Ducky machine as well. Oliver Jansen with some pretty heavy damage early on in this race. Excuse me, I was calling him Mark Berry. It's a Mark Bray here. It's not. Apologies for that, Mark. Mark, he's going to lose only one spot since that drop of the green flag, dropping to the P12 overall spot, but an AM. That's actually not too bad. I'm showing P5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there for Mark Bray. That Porsche, he's showing a little bit of pace here tonight, tried to carry a little bit too much pace up the hill section. He'll be a little bit more careful this time by John Jennings. Samuel Cruz, battle for P2, starting to heat up. Broil as we head back and up through the mountain. You got to be careful if you're John Jennings. You got that hard charging Samuel Cruz in that HD camera, that rear view camera, I mean. But John Jennings, he's so far putting his head down as that's hard contact with the outside wall of Samuel Cruz. Definitely looks like a bent rear toe length there for the BWT machine. Give that the Sean and Tater curse here tonight. Unfortunate for Samuel Cruz. He can continue to close that gap here, but looks like he's going to have to put his head back down. I believe there's no fast repairs here tonight, so he's going to have to either deal with this damage or just wait till that pit stop. That right rear looks just a little bit bent. There you saw sparks fly out of that Falcon corner. Another really nice battle here. Once again, heating up between this rubber ducky racing machine, Matthew Sherwood. Matter of fact, Mauricio's, he's the meat in the sandwich right now. He's got Tyler Reed right up there in front of him. This is a really nice AM battle for the P3 spot. That would be Matthew Sherwood. Continues to reel him in, though. He's showing some nice pace with the McLaren here tonight. There you saw the flames fly out the end of it. iRacing. If you're newer to iRacing, man, iRacing, I love it. It simulates every single thing you can imagine. Laser scan tracks, laser scans cars. Matter of fact, these newer GT3 tire models, it's about just as realistic as you could get. If you don't have yourself a membership, what are you doing? Got to grab yourself one and then come a race here in the International Pro-Am Racing Series with us. We have drivers represented from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different nations here tonight. So far, it's going to be Alexander Campbell Jr. It's not Alexander Campbell Haller, who continues to lead us out here from the treacherous mountain out here at Mount Panorama. John Jennings, he's got that 6.5 working 7-second gap down there to our race leader. Samuel Cruz continues to hang right there with him with a little bit of contact. Right, a matter of fact, from that turn last lap by 0.8 of a second separating P2 and P3. Real quick, while we have the time, go ahead and enjoy the sights and sounds of Mount Panorama here tonight. My name is Sean Stam. I'll be right back with you here in the booth. Go ahead and crank this puppy up. you can slowly go and crank this puppy back down because I'm about to get a little too excited here. Mauricio Marquez Ramos got a little loose. He's going to have a slowdown penalty. Going to have to allow that pro driver of Lucas Haller to head right on by. Except, matter of fact, taking the slowdown, but Lucas Haller, matter of fact, Mauricio continues to keep Lucas Haller right there behind him. That's a pretty nice feat here tonight for that Rubber Duck Racing number 36. This is AM battle for first, second, third, fourth, fifth in class. Having a really nice run for both these drivers as Lucas Haller, remember, he made that pit stop earlier on in the race, so he has enough fuel to make it to the end. It was a quick splash and dash for that number 1 Fendi Racing Ferrari machine as he continues to work his way back up through the field. Matter of fact, Lucas right now I'm showing is our only driver to try and make this pit stop strategy work. We'll have to keep an eye on things as back out to the race lead, a 7.2 gap shown. John Jennings continuing to show us some really nice pace here tonight. Remember, kind of home track for this driver. Our one and only Australian out in the field here tonight. John Jennings running P2 overall as well as in the pro category. Samuel Cruz, remember he was cruising right up, got in that dirty wake up here, back and through the mountain section we go. Unfortunately, Samuel Cruz got a little bit too friendly with that outside wall. It is concrete, it is unforgiving. That right rear toe has definitely seen better days. It is towed in. You can see it as he comes across the cameras there. It is just not in alignment. Tim Reed, another really fast driver within the pro category. Clark St. James Motorsports for the 155 Mercedes AMG as he works his way back and down across the hill, the mountain section once again. We saw sparks flying underneath this machine, and that means it is just optimized within these downforce levels, smacking the racetrack right where you want it to on that right side skirts there, but just enough air getting underneath to that rear carbon fiber diffuser to allow that downforce to work and suck itself down to the track, both the rear downforce as well as the overhead and rear spoiler downforce going to work for Tim Reed tonight, as well as Andy Reid, another driver running that Mercedes AMG here tonight. Only 2 of the 3. Tyler Reed, the AM driver back there, 9th overall, running that other Mercedes. Jeremy Jukic, Jed Cotterman, Lucas Haller. Tyler Reed, that driver I just mentioned, that's 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Lucas Haller, he continues to run side by side right here. This is up against Jed Cotterman, still side by side up and through the second to last portion, or excuse me, turn of the track. Coming to turn 22 here. Lucas Haller, door quarter clear. He makes another pass look relatively easy. Nice speed here tonight for that number 1 machine. Continues to work up through the pack. We're going to work through turn number 1, hell corner. There's a reason they call it that. Jed Cotterman tried to dive it down the inside. Gravel and grass is going to rooster tail at the end of Lucas Haller's machine. This is a blanket over 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th overall. Jed Cotterman, Tyler Reed. Hey, Mauricio is saying, I want a piece of this battle as well. We'll head up and through the mountain section once again. You better make sure your seat belts are strapped on tight here, boys and girls. This may get a little nitty, a little gritty going up through. Mauricio was thinking about sending it down the inside. He has no chance to now. He's going to get back on the brakes once again. Look at the speed, the racecraft between these drivers. All the room is being left, but they are trying to fight for every single centimeter possible. Lucas Haller, Tyler Reed, Jed Cotterman, Mauricio Ramos is still right up in there with them, all along the dirty air for the Rubber Duck Racing machine as we'll head back down Bathurst Mountain. In the chip there for Mauricio. That was a hard, tight downshift as he continues to fight for Jed Cotterman for that 9th overall spot. Tyler Reed is seeing this rear view in his rear view mirror. Operation Motorsport driver is trying to run away as Jed Cotterman gets loose at a Falcon corner. If you are Jed Cotterman, you better run, you better ride. You got Mauricio as well as Matthew Sherwood, 2 drivers that are sharks that smell blood and the water at this point. We're not even halfway to go. These tires, brakes, as well as tire pressures are all up to optimal conditions at this point. At this point, it's all about management. Save it. Don't burn it off too soon. Mauricio continues to fight Jed Cotterman's rear bumper through turns number 22 and 23, coming back to hell corner on turn 21. We are not missing anything up out front. Alexander Hjaller continues to run away with a 7.5 second gap. John Jennings works his way up the Mount Panorama mountain now. Samuel Cruz is 5.1 seconds back from John Jennings. Also, Tim Reed, a driver that we've seen with some pretty nice pace earlier on. Tim Reed is back to P4 right now after gaining 2 spots since the drop of the green flag. Oh, race leader goes off track. He's going to keep it on, though, as we'll take a quick replay and see what happened. This was back down through the mountain section here, hopping on board with race leader. Ooh, boys and girls, that is a huge moment there. You heard it. That rear the diffuser bottomed out with the racetrack. That could have very easily sent Alexander Campbell Hjaller around. It's not going to, though. Alexander's going to continue to retain that race lead spot. Here comes some really nice battling once again between this Jed Cotterman and Mauricio Ramos battle that we have seen start to heat up and broil between these last 2 to 3 laps. We got Josh still hanging out here live on YouTube land. Easy March Racing. Eduardo Vecino there to Evaz Designs. Hopefully you are doing all well. Cruz and Jennings lighten up this race, says Eduardo Vecino. Easy March says Racing says, wait, so someone is driving in reverse. Well, there may have been a little bit of Austin Powers moments here earlier on in the race. Actually, I think that was Dominic. No, that was Oliver Jansen who had to just take that toe earlier on in the race. Josh saying, come on, Reed. Fighting for that P4 spot. Terry, we got you down here live in YouTube land. She's saying, go, Dan, go. It's good to see Dan back behind the wheel. You know, Terry, that's a really good point. It's excellent to see Dan in the 327. He's in the Ferrari tonight, back behind the wheel, and that is a throwback paint scheme if I've ever seen one. Oh boy. That's very vibrant colors, though. A little cotton candy action, baby blue, hot pink for the 327 as Dan works out P13 in the overall. That would be, you can count them down on the left side of your screen. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. I believe that would be 8th place in the AM category for Dan. He's pretty far up there in the points categories, and I know we were kind of rushed here on our race start. Real quick, we'll take a quick look at our points standings. So these are the AM standings right here. Jeremy Jukic is out there leading our standings within the AM category, but look at Mauricio Marquez Ramos. He is right there with them. He is tied, matter of fact. Rubber Duck Racing, Code 3 Racing, separated by, what is that? Oh, 0 points. Also have Tyler Reed up there for that P3 spot within the points. I know we got some real nice points battles within the whole racetrack here, but Alexander Hjaller, this is pro points here. Alexander Hjaller, Harry Price. Harry, unfortunately, not able to make it out to the racetrack here tonight. Oliver Jansen, Lucas Haller, John Jennings, rounding out those top 5 here in the points. You got to look at John, though. Surrey sits P5 in the points. He is continuing to have a really nice run here tonight. Continues to sit P2 right now, although I don't think the victory lane is in works here tonight. The really nice point standings for this driver. He needed them this second race of the season. It's a pretty short season here at IRPAS. You're going to take all that you can get. John showing us that he knows how to get around the tight, treacherous, elevation-hungry Mount Panorama. Speaking of Jeremy Jukic here, the AM category points leader. He's going to head this Acura NSX down into pit lane. Should be just a quick stop and go. Remember, just like we see like we saw Lucas Haller make just on lap 2 of the race, you want to make sure that you hit your pit stop marks here. You don't want to go a little bit too deep, and more importantly, you definitely don't want to leave your tires checked. You want to make sure that this stop is as quick as possible. As a matter of fact, Jeremy, that was a pretty long stop. Remember, Lucas Haller's stop, that was about a 34-second stop for Lucas Haller. this was a 51-second stop for Jeremy Jukic. That's once again the pit stop strategies that just make racing here. We're going to have to keep an eye on, even see if Lucas Huller has enough fuel to make it down to the checkered flag here tonight. Lucas running in the 6th spot overall, as well as an AM. Tyler Reed, as things are going to cycle through the pit stop strategies right now, Tyler Reed is going to lead our AM category as he heads back down Mount Panorama. I know I've thanked all the YouTube fans. I appreciate, once again, every single one of you joining in live here tonight. I also appreciate the drivers who all make this possible. We appreciate the one, the only league owner, Dan Fendick, putting it out here tonight, showing some relatively nice pace here. Overall P11 so far as he is Jeremy Jukic. Remember, Jeremy's probably going to say, get out of the way, I got places to be, as he tries to make his pit stop cycle strategy work. If you know Dan, though, he is not going to make it easy. Dan's going to go a little bit wide, doesn't make contact with the outside wall, but he got Dan close to it. Get it instead of Dan. Well, that overtech machine, it's going to lose a little bit of pace, going to give that point by there for Jeremy Jukic. But as I was going to say there, I appreciate also the sponsors and affiliates who make this all possible. There you see Race to Stop Suicide up in the top right of your screen. Check on your friends and family members there around you. Con Coaching, make sure you hit up Zane if you're looking to get faster there out on track. I'm not talking Mario Kart here, boys and girls. I am talking here within the sim racing world. Zane Con, he has got just more road course iRating than I have ever seen. I believe it's almost even working 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits there, as well as the International Pro-Am Racing Series. That's what you're watching here, the GT3 action come at you live here from Mount Panorama Bathurst. We have seen some nice, clean battles, as well as Cotton Bowl Speedway. Best dirt track racing down here in the state of Texas. Mary Ann and H does an immaculate job down there with just track preparations, marketing, and so on and so forth. There you see a driver. Oh, this is big. Hang on here, Cotton Bowl Speedway fans. This is a leader of the race, Alexander Campbell-Kjaller. He is bent it down there. I believe that was coming down the mountain. Where he comes. Unfortunately, he's going to come down that mountain a little bit too quick. I would expect to see this driver down into pit lane this time. Should be the meatball flag here. Disqualification if he's not going to pit, as there is no front bumper on this Ferrari GT3. John Jennings, home track hero, will come out and take away the lead this time by, if John Jennings doesn't pit, Tim Reed will come by as well and possibly take away that race lead, as John Jennings will, matter of fact, come in and pit this time. He will close that gap to the overall race leader, as we just saw Alexander's pace crawling down our long back straightaway. I believe we do have a fast instant repair to work. Yep, there you see it. That's a matter of fact, take a look at it. I'm going to slow it down because this is something that these drivers don't get in real life, or quite frankly within the iRacing universe at all. Look at this. 3, 2, 1, launch. You're going to see that front bumper magically appear. There it goes. And that's going to be all the aerodynamic advantage that Alexander Campbell-Kjaller needs to take the race lead and probably run away with it once again. His gap, it did cut down quite a bit there, as John Jennings, he got that little bit of a gain down that long back straightaway. But this is showing the pace here out of Mr. Kjaller. He had so much pace. He is still, even after losing his front bumper and having to send it at about what looks like only 100 kilometers an hour down that back straightaway, he continues to lead even after the mishap. I'm going to try and see if I can find it here, but it was an incident it happened to quite a few drivers here tonight. Matter of fact, this is another look at Dominic Gaschlau's incident as we head back and down through that same corner, that problem corner there for Alexander. He gets a little tight there. Ooh, matter of fact, slams on the brakes. Dominic, after towing it, is now shown out of the race. Our next closest battle is going to be Tyler Reed and Marquez Ramos here continuing to go at it. This is battle for 3rd and 4th in the AM category. Another rubber ducky racing Marquez Ramos here, he is once again within fighting this dirty air off the machine, off Tyler Reed up in front. This is when this dirty air is most prevalent too. I mean, you are up in the mountain elevations here, as well as you are trying to fight between centimeters on these tracks. You are not wanting to get it within the outside and inside tire barrier, but that's how you have to make pace here at Mount Panorama. You have to be fighting for these centimeters. You have to open up your entry and corner exits just as much as humanly possible. We continue to see that, as well as some nice battling here between Tyler Reed as well as Mauricio Ramos. Look at it. Will we see some teamwork make the dream work down this long back straightaway, or will we see Mauricio try and send it down there into turns number 19, 20, and 21? Definitely within that slipstream is Mauricio. Here we go. He's continuing to close the gap to Tyler Reed. 0.3 of a second. It'll close back to 0.2. Hard, deep into the braking zone. Holy, what a send. He didn't send it down the inside, but he definitely put a Post-it stamp on it and sent it through the mail there. All clean, though, as he just continues to work that gap ever so closer. Tyler Reed is trying to run, trying to hide for that P4 spot in the AM category. Jeremy Jukic, remember just a week ago from Spa, Jeremy came away with that P2 finish. As a matter of fact, he was chasing it, that hard charging Mauricio. We're seeing the driver of the 36 here tonight, all the way back in 11th spot overall. Still fighting for that 5th and 6th spot in AM. Dan Fendick right behind these drivers, working his way down and up through the mountain section once again here. This is back to complete lap 16, coming to 17 through turns 21, 22, 23 coming to here. Dan Fendick, he's having himself a nice show here tonight as he has passed Mark Bray out here for position. Mark, we saw a little bit of a spin, a little bit of an incident for this driver earlier on. Mark's going to continue to keep it out on here on track, as we should work with just about 13 minutes left to go in the race. Once again, battle here continuing to heat up for 9th and 10th overall. Look at the sparks fly out of that Operation Motorsports machine, as well as Tyler Reed. His rear diffuser is going to take that saucer, the 3D rendered rumble strips. There is a tongue twister and a half. We're going to have contact down the mountain here. Not really a passing zone, but Tyler Reed possibly, I think that's the smart move there. He's going to give the point by to a hard charging Mauricio. We're going to hop on board here with Mauricio and take a look at what he did here. Little bit of a bump, a little bit of a run here. Tyler Reed says, all right, that's enough here. Just a little point by there as we head back and down through the Falcon corner. I don't blame him here. It is so hard to send it a little bit too deep there through the Falcon, sort of hairpin you could call it. We have tires probably past their prime at this point in terms of grip, temperatures, and pressures. We also have the brakes possibly just begging for mercy at this point. We have sent these cars for 33, coming to 34 minutes at this time. Real quick, 11 minutes to go. Go ahead, last time tonight. Enjoy the sights and sounds of the racetrack. Crank it up. My name's Sean Stam. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Alrighty, slowly go and crank this puppy back down before I get a little bit too excited. Once again, here's Jed Cotterman. Speaking of Jed Cotterman, we got Cotterman Jr. hanging out with us down here live in YouTube land, saying wish he could have joined this race here tonight. I don't know if you're part of the IRPAS Racing League there, Cotterman Jr., but hey, definitely, we'd be more than happy to have you. Make sure that you get there with Dan Fendick, and he'll get you all sort of set up there within the Discord and the iRacing universe. You better start cheering here a little bit harder, because Cotterman is starting to have to fight off. He's having to play a little bit of Super Bowl-esque defense over that Matthew Sherwood right here. Both these drivers, number 7 and 8, fighting for the 8th and 9th position out here on track. 3 McLarens, all running 8, 9, and 10 with one another. Mauricio Ramos is right there behind this battle, 2.7 seconds back. I don't know. I'm trying to convey this to the viewer as best as humanly possible. But as you head up and through, I think, the most treacherous portion of track that we have here within the iRacing universe, I don't know how that you're continuing to play some very nice defense as you continue to see Matthew Sherwood's headlights glowing in that rear view camera. I would definitely have been given the point by 1, 2, 3, 4, count them 5 laps ago, but we're not seeing that. We're continuing to see the racecraft, the speed, the competitiveness here between these IRPAS racing drivers. Nice running, very clean running, very fast running as well. Samuel Cruz there just got a little loose there out of turn number, I believe that was 19 coming to 20 and 21. 22, and there's number 23 backing up to turn number 1. We saw Samuel Cruz there just a little bit wide there off the track. We'll take a quick replay of it. We'll hop on board with them, as well as Mark Gray also had that same incident, I believe, through the same corner. No harm, no foul there for the old Samuel Cruz. He's just trying to push it as best as he possibly can. That was about as close as you could get before getting a slow down penalty. We really haven't seen any, we have seen some slowdown penalties here in this race, but not any drive-through penalties. That's very surprising, because normally coming into Bathurst, Mount Panorama, you kind of expect to enter this race and at least get a 4X, which means that's contact, pretty heavy contact with another driver. I believe the incident count that we would have had to work with before a drive-through penalty is 13 incidents here tonight. We've definitely seen some drivers get well within that range, but it's not close enough to warrant a penalty. There you see on that left side of your screen where the timing graphic scoring is. Basically Samuel Cruz as well as Jeremy Jukic, they're both Pro and Am drivers. They are our highest running drivers with 5X, but I don't know, only 7-8 minutes left to go in the race. You should be all right, no harm, no foul. Although I don't want to give him the Sean and Tater curse too early on here, because Jed Cotterman, Matthew Sherwood continuing to run nose to tail, not trading any paint here just yet, but I don't know, with just now approaching only 6 minutes to go left in this race, we might see just a little bit of contact here between Matthew as well as Jed Cotterman. Jetty's continuing to slap the dirty air off the front end of this machine. What does it mean when I say that? Well, you don't have that clean air to work with. No real downforce to work with up and across that McLaren machine, as well as underneath it for that rear downforce to suck the car right down into the racing surface. Although there you see it on our long straightaway. This is where you're banking on that slipstream to work for you, because in the turns, it definitely burns, but on that straightaway, it helps more than you can imagine. If you are within 0.5 of a second, right now we do see 0.5 of a second separating Jed Cotterman as well as Matthew Sherwood. Speaking of 5, only 5 minutes left to go in this race. That should warrant about 2 to 3 laps to go. Alrighty, well, let me know who your race pick is to win here tonight. I appreciate, once again, every single one of you joining me. It's going to be a battle for the ages here between 4th, 5th, as well as 7th and 8th overall on track. Might be asking what happened there to Alexander Hjaller earlier on in this race. Well, matter of fact, before we start talking about that, here is Mark Bray's incident. Mark is actually shown back and into the pit lane at this moment. Here we go. We got the drone camera shots pulling the replay at us here. This is into turn 23. Remember, I mentioned turn 1, Hell Corner. There's a reason they call it that. It's so easy just to send it there a little bit too deep. And matter of fact, we're going to see that turn 23. They're very two similar turns, turn 23 and turn 1. They back each other up here. Matter of fact, this is once again the Porsche who tries to carry just a little bit too much speed. He's going to bounce off that outside, the inside tire. I don't even think you call it tire. That is once again concrete on that inside line. Once again, Alexander Hjaller, he had that incident earlier on in the race, lost his front nose, but right now continues to show the pace, show us all how it's done here tonight. 16.2 second gap over John Jennings. Samuel Cruz continues to sit P3. Tim Reed, once again, up 2 spots. Tied there with John Jennings, also up 2 spots. Andy White, really haven't mentioned Andy White here too much here tonight, but he is another pro driver. He is sitting P5 overall as well as in the pro standings. Lucas Haller, remember, this is a driver who tried to make that pit stop strategy work earlier on in the race. I have shown now every single driver here tonight has made their pit stop. So what you're looking at is basically everything that has been cycled out. You just saw Lucas Haller get held up just a little bit earlier on in the race. Unfortunately, well, that's kind of making the difference real quick between Andy White and Lucas Haller. Lucas, if he wasn't held up, he could have possibly be looking at that P5 spot right now. Back there to Jeremy Jukic, continuing to lead and run that AM category class as he's got Jed Cotterman 4.5 seconds back. Matthew Sherwood as well as Mauricio Ramos, that is all AM drivers. 7th overall back, but that would be 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Also Dan Fendick there in 6th in the AM category. Mark Bray still into the pit lane. I believe he's already used that fast repair. He's going to take that the slow repair here tonight as we are coming up on 2 minutes to go to the checkered flag, until the white flag flies, excuse me. With lap times in the 2:02 seconds range, excuse me, 2 minute 2 second range. God, that'd be quick if it was the old 2:02. Matter of fact, the last lap time was a 2:01.7 for Alexander Hjaller. White flag is out. With as fast as this driver is running, the lap times he's putting down, we have already seen the white flag fly here on lap 22 of the race. Here comes John Jennings. Oh, that's right, only a 6.2 kilometers to go until this is all official for every driver here tonight, especially the drivers that continue to do battle. Lucas Haller, Andy White, looks like Lucas was able to work his way back out and around for the P5 spot, both overall and in pro. We're gonna have to see if Andy White has anything for Lucas Haller. I don't know, I bet Lucas Haller was hard, he's driving kind of with his head down, remember earlier on in the race. Tried to make that pit stop strategy work. I think it's definitely an interesting call because we got Jeremy Jukic, race leader in the AM category, making his way down into the pit lane on the white flag lap. You gotta hate that there for Jeremy because that's going to present Jed Cotterman, Matthew Sherwood. These drivers are gonna go nose to tail on the white flag lap here. Nose to tail for the AM category overall win. This is going to get good here. There's pretty much, quite frankly, no battles up there in the pro category. We're going to stick with Jed Cotterman. Matthew Sherwood. Matthew, he's going to have to wait, I think, until back and down through the mountain here. There's just no passing opportunities to work with unless Jed Cotterman pulls a mistake. We just haven't seen a mistake here tonight out of Jed Cotterman. There, we're going to see it. Contact for the race lead in the AM category. Jed Cotterman got big loose. There we saw Matthew Sherwood give a shove. No change in position yet here. Jed Cotterman, Matthew Sherwood looking side. They were side by side. We're going to single file it back here once again. Matthew Sherwood is up 6 spots since the drop of the green flag. Real quick, congratulations, Alexander Campbell Hjaller. He's going to go back-to-back here in the IRPAS GT3 Racing Series. What a 2-week run here for Alexander. Back into that battle there between Jed Cotterman, Matthew Sherwood. Matthew Sherwood's going to get on that outside line. Here we go once again down our long back straightaway. This is going to be the run of the ages. Who gets deeper into the brakes? We have a little bit of a kink to work with here on the back straightaway. Who gives way? Matthew Sherwood, Jed Cotterman, side by side for the IRPAS GT3 Race 2 here at Bathurst Mount Panorama. Jed Cotterman, switchback move for Matthew Sherwood. Who's it going to be? Matthew Sherwood gets into the gravel, goes for a beat, goes for a play in the sand. Looks like that's going to be Jed Cotterman who got a little loose. Matthew Sherwood, he keeps it going, takes the AM win here tonight from Mount Panorama. Jed Cotterman got big loose once again, coming to the checkered flag. There you see it. Whoever said that down in YouTube land, you are a time traveling mug. We are getting reverse across the start-finish line here tonight for our second place running Jed Cotterman in AM category. Holy, that's a big one. And then we got Tyler Reed there. He's going to finish P3 and AM P9 overall. You got a feel here for Jeremy Jukic coming across, just petering across the line. After leading just about every single lap there in the AM category, he will bring it home P11 overall. That would be just outside the top driver interviews, P4 in the AM category. Well, while we have all these drivers getting ready for some photo ops here and every single driver making their way down and across the start-finish line, stick with us here for driver interviews as well as just the race results here tonight. It was so much fun to watch. We had some pro and AM battles out here starting to ensue on track. Just making sure everybody is, yep, here we go. Dan Fiddick's gonna make his way across the start-finish line for that overall P12 spot. Mark Bray, Dominic Gashlau, as well as Oliver Jansen are all out of the race. So that's going to make these results at least unofficially official, you could call it here tonight. Congratulations once again on Alexander Hjaller coming away with the race win. John Jennings, home track hero, he'll bring it home P2. Samuel Cruz, Tim Reed, Lucas Haller, Andy White rounding out that top 6. Matthew Sherwood, congratulations Matthew Sherwood on a really nice run here tonight. Jed Cotterman, Tyler Reed, Jeremy Jukic, Mauricio Ramos, Dan Fendick, Mark Bray, Dominic Gashlau, Oliver Jansen, rounding out our top 15 and only 15 drivers here tonight. Stick with us here once again. I appreciate all the drivers, I appreciate the league owners, and of course, most importantly, every single one of us, or every single one of you who have joined here tonight in YouTube land. Eduardo Vicino saying, what a battle there in AM. I'll get some replays of it here in just a few moments' time. Tom Duran saying, gutted he missed it today, but great stream and great commentary as always. Hey, that's what keeps me going there behind the scenes. I really appreciate that. And you know what else I really appreciate? Oh, we're still waiting on drivers to make their way down to interview booths. So until then, I'll take a look at the last kind of battle there between that was Matthew Sherwood and Jed Cotterman, just going nose to tail there. It got we traded a little bit of paint, but definitely had the respect and racecraft for one another. Here's a look at it here once again, side by side, coming to the last section of the sector of the track here between Matthew Sherwood and Jed Cotterman. So they somehow made it work through the S's section here. No real advantage as well. Well, there you see Matthew Sherwood, he gets the advantage. He has the advantage of the inside line there, able to dive it down there just a little bit deeper. Jed Cotterman there, he gives the spot for the moment. He's going to hang it back down the outside line, goes for a play in the sand as if Jed were at the beach. Unfortunately, we're racing here tonight, Jed. We're not playing at the beach. No, in all seriousness, though. Great run here tonight as we saw him dunk it after the right coming to the start-finish line there. And once again, whoever mentioned we saw somebody driving in reverse there in YouTube land, I think you're a time traveler because there you see it. It's reverse across the start-finish line. Here we have it, live driver interviews. Alexander Keller, live in Victory Lane driver interview booth. You got yourself a copy, man.
Yep, I do.
All right, what a race, what a finish. Congratulations on going back-to-back here at IRPAS. Walk us through it, man.
I'm gonna be honest, I was really caught up at the standing start. and I got a really bad launch, but so did everybody else. I think it got everybody else off guard, and then from there I think I got like a second on Lucas on the first lap, and he had a black flag, and it was just uncontested from that moment on. And yeah, consistency is key, I guess.
Well, we appreciate you clearing that up, Alexander, because I thought Lucas was trying to make a strategy call work there and I don't pit on lap 1, but no, I think you nailed it there. He got the black flag from the standing start there, and I think, like you said, that caught everybody off guard. That caught me off guard. We were trying to do an interview, caught us all off guard. But Alexander, congrats again on the win here tonight. Who we shouting out? Who makes it all possible for you, man?
Who to choose now? Should we go dog 3 for 3?
You have to, right? Keep it going.
Yep. It's for my dog.
Alexander Campbell-Hjaller, he will come away barking across the start-finish line, take it away once again. Alexander, congratulations on another race win.
Thank you so much, Sean.
Alrighty, P2 driver, how about it? John Jennings, you got yourself a copy, man.
I'm here.
Alrighty, well...
Loud and clear.
Oh man, walk us through your race here tonight. What was it like trying to conquer Mount Panorama, man?
Well, I love the place, as you can probably guess. I'd say it's my favourite track of all time. It's probably the second hardest track in the world compared to the green nightmare, which is Nürburgring. So yeah, I love the place.
Well, John, that was a really nice start there. We saw you gain 2 spots and then start to pretty much run away with that P2. But I mean, goodness gracious, 16.9 second gap at the start-finish line for Alexander. John, it's cool though. Podium finish at your home track, and I hope that you at least caught the intro to the stream, or at least gonna go watch it back. Something a little bit special.
I need to go back and have a look. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait. Let me know what you think. And John, real quick before we let you get going, congrats on the podium finish here in the pro category. Who makes it all happen for you here tonight?
Oh mate, there's a lot of people. Well, obviously it's Dan and it's yourself. Tonight I'm going to put it down to Stam Studio Network. He does a great job.
You're gonna make me cry up there, John. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Yeah, have a good one.
Hey, you too. And real quick shout out to Evaz Designs on that paint scheme. Eduardo, if you're still watching, great paint scheme as always, and keep up your hard work. John Jennings with that P2 overall finish. Congrats on that once again. It's definitely big in the points. You know what else is big in the points? Samuel Cruz, another pro driver. He'll bring it home overall P3 here tonight. Samuel, you got yourself a copy.
My copy, Sean.
Hey Samuel, alrighty. Well, quite a different few leagues. I see that you're racing in. Well, back here home at the IRPAS GT3 league. You're gonna bring it home P3 here tonight. Walk us through your race. What was it like here tonight with the number 25 Lamborghini?
Oh, well, just like everybody, caught off a little off guard with the standing start. But after that, I was able to set in. Just a little mad at myself. I was right behind Jennings early, and I just kind of peeked out to find my reference point for a braking zone, end up clipping the wall and getting some wheel damage, so I fell off and almost got back to him at the end. I was like, I think, under 2 seconds from him. But yeah, but I mean, besides that, you know, great race.
As we take a look at the standing start, there were definitely 1, 2, 3, definitely 3 or 4 cars sleeping. I would have been one of them. Gosh, is that is that something new here that we're going to see in IRPAS, you think, or is that just a kind of a one-time deal with Bathurst, or what are your thoughts there?
Oh, I feel like it's going to be a one-time deal, but I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels, but I mean, I didn't mind it. I like the switch up, so I mean, if we, you know, do this every other week or something, I would not mind.
Well, Samuel, we appreciate you taking the time to join us here for these podium finishers here in the pro category. Real quick, before we let you get going, who makes it all possible for you, man?
Well, I'll shout out you, Sean, in the broadcast, and I guess I'll follow Alexander's lead and shout out my dog as well.
I love it there, Samuel. Another driver to bark his way across the start-finish line. Congrats on that top 3 finish here.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty, how about it, man on a mission in the AM category, Matthew Sherwood. I hope you got yourself a copy in the AM category.
Hey, man.
Matthew, what a race there with Jed Cotterman. It came down to the last lap, last turn, matter of fact. You will come away with the checkered flag here tonight, the AM category. What was going through your minds there on that whole last lap and even through those last turns, going side by side with Jed Cotterman, especially down that whole back straightaway?
I mean, I was just having just a ton of fun chasing Jed. Before this interview, he mentioned that he was setting personal best lap times, and I was doing the same thing chasing him. So we were just in a flow state going through that mountain. And you know, he tripped up a little bit at the end, but like I don't even really care what order we came in. It was a great race between me and him, and I loved it.
That says a lot, Matthew. I mean, you're gonna come away with the race win here tonight, but you're just, I mean, shouting out the clean and competitive racing, and that's what I saw. That's what IRPAS is all about here tonight. You and Jed both put on a show. We appreciate that, and I know the fans were just having the time of their life down there in YouTube land below. Matthew Sherwood, congratulations once again on the win, and is there anybody you'd like to shout out who makes it all possible for you here tonight?
Yeah, I'd just like to shout out my endurance racing group, so Nick and Sam and Bentley, who's not here, Shane and Michael as well. They've really pushed me, and I've grown a lot as a racer over the last like 6 or 7 months, and found a lot of pace, and I wouldn't be here without them.
Well, Matthew, we appreciate that, and have a great rest of your night, man.
Thanks.
All righty, Jed Cotterman, you had the lead going into the second to last turn here. And then it's going to get a little bit loose there on exits. Went for a play in the beach sand, but you're still going to bring up that P2 finish. And like Matthew said, regardless of the finish position here tonight, it was so much fun to watch you two go at it, as well as respectfully. No! Oh, I set it up. No. All right. Well, Jed Cotterman, well, we appreciate that in the cleanliness battles. We're going to get to... if we have Tyler Reed, we're going to take that driver interview, and if not, I believe that's everybody we got here in the broadcast booth. So one last look at it here, side by side for the AM category. That is IRPAS racing. That is clean, competitive racing. You can't get much better than this. You don't get much better than this here on Stam Studio Network. My name is Sean Stam. Thank you all once again for joining in here tonight, and I hope you all have a great rest of your night. Join me in about an hour and a half or two for some oval racing coming at you live from Dover Motor Speedway, the Bump and Run ARCA Series. Congratulations once again, race winner Alexander Campbell-Keller, as well as AM winner Matthew Sherwood. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your night.